All right, here we go. Got the camera set up, nice lighting. I think it's nice lighting, whatever. So today I thought I would talk about the things I wish I knew at the age of 16, which I can't believe is already 10 years ago, close to 11 years ago, now that I'm getting into my ripe old age at 26 and 27. You get older and you always think of like the should've, would've, could've's back in your life, and I think this might be an opportunity that might be useful, or some knowledge that might be good if you are 16 yourself or mid-high school. So let's just jump right into it. My first piece of advice would be just learn more about yourself. So how can you do this? There's a lot of personality assessments that you can take online. I recommend the MBTI 16 personalities, and then also the Enneagram Institute personality assessment. I'll link both of those down below. The reason I mention these is because just learning more about yourself can better inform the direction you want to go in your life. And the earlier you can figure that out, the quicker you can utilize the tools coming up in your life to get you where you want to go. MBTI 16 personalities assessment kind of just breaks down every single human being into one of 16 personalities. And whenever you take that assessment, it will teach you more about some of the things you value, some of the things that we don't recommend you do, the things that work for you in your relationships, the things that don't work for you in your relationships. And it's just extensive all around good information to know. Same with the Enneagram Institute, that breaks it down into, I believe, 9 different types of personalities with different combinations of them all. And so I recommend just checking out both of those and then do more additional research on those personality types. The more you know, the better you'll be prepared and where you want to go in life. Number 2, start taking responsibility in your life. So if you were like me, I was very unprepared post high school. I felt like I was more on like this curriculum or like this roller coaster that was going to happen no matter what, whether or not you were prepared, because that's just life. After you finish high school, it's kind of do or die, life hits you, and so the better prepared you can be, the better. So something I would recommend if you were early in high school or 16 or around that age frame right now is just start developing multiple 5-year plans. What are you going to do post high school, and what is that going to look like? Where are you trying to get to in life? Generally speaking, a couple recommendations for post high school. You can either go to a 4-year college if you already know the degree that you want to get and the job that you want to get out of that degree. Maybe if finances is more of a concern, maybe consider community college. Likewise, if you don't know what that final end goal is yet, you don't know if college is going to be useful for you yet, definitely try out community college first. Save on some money, get some of those gen eds out of the way, and it'll buy you some more time to do some more self-searching. Military service, that's also not a bad idea. Maybe you're not an academic strong suit person, maybe you're not looking to spend that money. I recommend taking a look at some of the 4-year, 6-year contracts, or if it's a really good fit, check out those 20-year terms with getting those pensions as well. One of the reasons I say check out the 4-year and 6-year contracts is because I had a couple buddies who did this. Financially, they were not in a place, where they could go to college or afford to go to college. They ended up doing either a 4-year or a 6-year contract and using their GI Bill later on to pay for college. Certainly something to check out. If you don't have the means to go to college right away, that might be your segue there. Likewise, that's also going to build you a lot of discipline, structure, and give you new experiences to learn from itself too. So that kind of in itself is a win-win situation. If military isn't for you, college isn't for you, definitely check out trade schools. Plumbers, electricians, contractors, anything like that, because those are careers that will always be in need. And then likewise, as you're training and working and doing that, you're also being paid at the same time. So maybe you're looking for something more simple along that line that also is still good paying at the end. Definitely check out those trade schools as well. So number 3, doing extracurriculars. Get involved. Definitely get involved no matter how you do it, whether it's work, volunteer, school, groups, organizations, that kind of thing. Getting involved will give you more life experience right off the bat before you graduate high school, before you move on and life hits you. And what's really great about that life experience is that you use those experiences to learn more about yourself, what you value, what you want out of life. Maybe, in high school you join robotics club, you decide you love robotics, and you go to college for that reason. I did soccer in high school, and then I went to college and majored in engineering and then swapped my major I don't know how many times. But I look back and my high school had a robotics program, and I could have learned more engineering skills, and I could have learned earlier on if I liked that or if I didn't like that before I went and spent money at one of the top universities here at Michigan. And so a big regret that I have is that I didn't optimize or use every opportunity I had available to me in my high school to go ahead and get those earlier life experiences to decide which direction I want to go in life. Definitely could have saved some tuition dollars, could have saved some time on my life, and also could have gained more experiences. So get involved. Number 4, kind of building off the previous point of getting involved, also start working. What you learn in the classroom, it does not 100% translate to the workforce, right? And that goes for any degree, that goes for any, profession, that kind of thing. You can take mathematics, but that doesn't mean you're going to be good at accounting. Maybe you're good at numbers, but it's not the same as working, right? You can be good at science, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a good science teacher. You might know all the facts, you might know all the information, but it doesn't mean you're good at facilitating classroom discussion. It doesn't mean that that is your forte or is that something that you could translate into a career. So the earlier you start working, the sooner you start gaining more of those work-related experiences and building that confidence and understanding the difference between an academic setting and a work setting. The working can give you those first-hand experiences that can better inform where you want to go professionally later on as you get into your adult life. Likewise, if you work now, you can save up money that will help transition into getting more of those adult experiences. Later on, you're going to have some school application fees. Maybe you'll have some movement fees. If you're going to the military, maybe you need some money to get you there or get to boot camp or wherever that is. And so having some extra cash on hand is definitely going to help you later on, so make sure you save it as well. Number 5, stop caring what other people think. I say this just because the younger you are, especially while you're in a high school institution or more public school institution, you're surrounded by your peers constantly. And so in that environment, you're going to value your peers' evaluations of yourself at a higher level than later on in life. I mention this because it doesn't matter what people think of you in high school, what's cool, what's not cool, anything like that, because that doesn't matter later on when you become an adult. Also, there's a couple items I want to mention on this. This kind of goes both ways. If you build yourself based on external evaluations or external influence, what other people think about you, you're going to start believing that and building those associations. So if people are telling you, you're stupid, you can't do that, yeah, right, or things like that, you're going to start repeating these things in your head. And when you start repeating these things in your head, that's going to become your new mindset. And so when it comes onto a new challenge, these are going to be the things that were left in your head before you start that next challenge, and you're going to decide for yourself whether or not you can or cannot based on that external influence. So what I would recommend is, the sooner you can get out of that mindset and disassociate your self-worth with external influence or external acceptance or gratification or whatever it is, the sooner you can cut those ties and just build your self-worth based on your self-evaluation and what it is that you want to be successful at, what it is that you want to be in life, the stronger you're going to be later on in your professional career or even as an adult. You get to define your success and don't let anyone else influence that. Number 6, be intentional with your choices. Don't do things just because it's the expectation or the status quo. This is ironic because I was top of my class in high school, got really good scores on my, ACT, SAT placement testing, went to that really good college, and silly enough, I kind of built like this fixed rate mindset within high school, and I told myself, I'm top of my class, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be one of those successful people later on, I just gotta keep doing this, right? And so I did things just because they were more of an expectation. You graduate high school, then you go to college, you do really well in college, then you get, top choice or top pickings of the jobs you want. In reality, that's not the case. Just because I was really smart in high school or I was top of the class in my high school did not set me up for success later on. So I was still missing some of those critical things of playing my own game, for example. When I compared myself to other people, oh yeah, of course I was successful, quote unquote, right? But then when I got to college, reality really hit me in the face because all of a sudden I wasn't smart anymore because I went to like this smart school, this top kid school, and I didn't have the needed skill sets or the needed drive out of my high school institution that I needed to be successful in the things I wanted to do or explore about myself later on. And that comfort just from being top of my class prevented me from exploring more, prevented me from, deciding what it is I wanted in life later on. Once again, I mentioned this because play your own game. Disconnect what everyone else is doing. Think about yourself. Think about where where you want to be 5 years from now and understand what does that look like 5 years from now. Does that make you happy? Is that something that you want? Financially, is that what you want? Work-life balance, is that what you want? Location, is that what you want? It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. For yourself, you want to make sure you're following your guideline or your path to what you define as success. Back to my example, I did things without intent. I did things because I just followed the status quo instead, and I found that not to be successful. So if I was 16 again, I would shake myself awake and be like, yo, make your 5-year plans, start working, get extra involved. Even though I was already quote unquote involved for like the resumes and the school applications, I could have done more. I could have, taken more opportunities and learned more from the experiences that I had at my hands. I regret not doing that. I regret not being prepared, not taking ownership of my life beforehand, not having those 5-year plans, not doing more research upon myself, what I value, my goals, and instead just followed the status quo as it came. And rather than taking proactive steps to get where I wanted to go, I never defined where I wanted to go. Instead, I just took steps as this deadline was chasing me. And so don't let that be you. No matter where you are, you can start taking those proactive steps, start taking those measures that you need to in order to be better off 5 years from now, no matter your age. 16, middle school, post-high school, post-college. So yeah, those are my big pieces. If this was helpful, great. Give me a like, give me a subscribe button there. Comment below, advice that you'd give yourself, from 10 years back or 16 or in high school or as a teenager or anything like that. Otherwise, this was About Average, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.